Come stay and eat with me at Park Hotel Tokyo, an art hotel in Tokyo's Shimbashi district. This is awesome. So just right outside the Shiodome subway station is Park Hotel Tokyo. So I just checked in at Park Hotel Tokyo. This is a 4-star hotel that's on the Michelin Guide. This is super convenient right next to the Shimbashi subway station, which connects you to all sorts of lines. And pretty much when you exit the station, it's right there at the Shiodome Media Tower, high up on the 25th floor and above. This is my last hotel before I fly out, and I chose this hotel because it's very convenient. The Asakusa line goes direct from Shimbashi Station all the way to Narita Airport. So I just finished checking in, and right behind the check-in desk is the Executive Museum Lounge, and it is beautiful. You see the skyline views with the Tokyo Tower in the backdrop. And I love this lounge as well because you get to just enjoy some non-alcoholic drinks for free, but if you wanted alcoholic drinks, you can do so for a fee. So another cool thing is this is a art hotel. There are so many art here, over 400 pieces of art scattered throughout the hotel from the lobby, and each of the floors with the guest rooms all have art. And what's also unique is this is the first I've heard of it. They have artist rooms where each room is uniquely designed by an artist, and when you check in, which I did, they let you choose which room you want, showing you what art is in that room, based on availability though. And I chose the Edo Tokyo Artist Room, which is very fitting for my trip in Tokyo. So this is room 3111, Edo Tokyo. So it's a very nicely laid out space. Pretty compact, but they arranged the layout very nicely. Very nice design. You have the single bed here, like a small living area in the section, and then the working desk here. And then here there's coffee with kettle and tea. So this is so cool. This is the Edo Tokyo artwork by artist Hidetaka Furukawa. So you have all these elements of Tokyo here. Love that they also have foodie elements. Perfect for a traveling foodie like me. You have the sushi. There's tempura, noodles, unagi. Here you have the Tokyo Tower with on the skyline, cherry blossoms. This is so beautiful. Here you have a map with 2 lanterns. I also love that you have these controls by the bed so you can control the light. Here you have the closet space with the luggage carrier, a safe, slippers at the bottom, hangers, and freshener. Let's check out the view. It kind of reminds me of the Tokyo Metropolitan Building where you get these beautiful skyscraper views. And look at this. We are so high up. Let's check out the washroom. Oh, nice. So there's towel. There's a bathtub with shower. So they use bath amenities by Tan here. The sink. More bath amenities. Toilet. There's a hairdryer. Oh, the ceiling light is pretty cool. Oh, what's in here? Oh, the fridge. Oh, there's a water. Oh, nice. Complimentary mineral water. Wow, so the hallways on each floor actually has artwork, so it's kind of like an art exhibit on each floor. I also spotted a gallery room in my floor, so let's check it out. It's a really great way to admire some art while seeing some beautiful views of the city. Good morning and rise and shine, everyone. Today I'm doing breakfast here at Park Hotel Tokyo. They do breakfast a little differently here, so there's 2 parts to it. The first part is choosing your set menu. So there's an American breakfast menu, and then there's a fresh morning menu. The fresh morning, you can pretty much call it like the Japanese menu because most of the dishes there are what people normally eat here in Japan. And then the second part is a buffet. In the buffet, you get your usual things like the orange juice, coffee, there's rice, miso soup, there's grilled fish, and then there's continental breakfast as well, like bacon and sausage. So I obviously wanted to try the fresh morning menu, so this is what it is. So it comes with the soy milk soup, fresh fruits right here, seasonal salad, and rice flour bread, which I kind of opened already, but I didn't try yet. Let's try. It's nice and fluffy, kind of like a dinner roll, but I also like that they gave it like warmed up already. Soy milk soup. This is really good. I like soy milk, and I like that they didn't give this sweet end, so you can really taste the soy and it's really strong, which I really love. And for the American breakfast, you get your choice of eggs, and then it would come with a side of vegetables. So I highly recommend sitting by the window. You have beautiful views while you're dining. And I love that they actually put the seats so that it's facing the window, as opposed to like normally they would put it on the sides, but here it's directly facing. So beautiful. So I also got some food from the buffet, and this one here is their grilled fish, and this time it's salmon. It's not like hot, but it's nicely grilled. And to contrast it, they also have smoked salmon. Sausage here. It's like the American style sausage. Bacon is the American style. It's different from the one at Shiba Park Hotel, which is more like the thick cut bacon. And this one here is fish cake with rapeseed blossom. Oh, this is really good. Also got some miso soup here. And some coffee and orange juice, freshly squeezed. So they have just put the blinds up, and the view is even more spectacular. You get more panoramic views. And another thing I noticed is they have matcha latte on the machine, so I had to try it. It's a little on the sweeter side, but you still get the taste of matcha, which I really like. And for a machine, it's really, really good. I am here at Hanasan Show. This is the Japanese restaurant in Park Hotel Tokyo. And what's special about the experience here is kaiseki cuisine originated in Kyoto, but you can try kaiseki right here in this restaurant without traveling to Kyoto. So their menu is broken down with like kaiseki, set menu, and a la carte. As well as for drinks, there's a lot of variety, from recommended cocktails from staff. Some cocktails are even made by the staff themselves, and I'm actually trying one of them. And then there's Japanese whiskey, Japanese wine, Japanese sake, Japanese beer. So a lot of Japanese drinks that you can try here. I started with one of the staff recommended drinks, and then I feel like I'm gonna switch to sake paired with my kaiseki. So for my kaiseki, I chose the Hanasan Show kaiseki. That's the kaiseki with the most courses, and most of it is seafood, which I'm all down for. There was a chef's recommended kaiseki, but when I was looking at some of the courses, I actually had some of them already at Shiba Park Hotel, which is also their sister hotel. So that's why I opted to do Hanasan Show, which makes sense as well since it's their namesake kaiseki, so it should be the best one you can try. So the views at this restaurant is spectacular. I highly recommend getting a seat by the window. So this here is the Japanese pepper shochu with soda asuka. Wow, and that's refreshing. So they actually add some yuzu zest there, which adds a nice refreshing touch. And this is actually the cocktail made by the staff, so kudos. So they also gave the menu here for what I'm having tonight. So one thing about kaiseki is it's a multi-course menu with a specific structure. So unlike tasting menu or omakase where you usually know what you're getting, or the chef can be very creative with what they're making, in kaiseki it's kind of fixed and very traditional. So for example, some of the courses you will always get are like sashimi, you will always get grilled dish, you will always get a simmer dish, a fried dish. So those category of dishes are always fixed. So we're starting off with the starters here. The starter they gave is simmered tofu, and then there's fava beans, there's salmon roe, there's crab meat, and then there's cherry blossom pickles. Let's try. That tofu gives that like silkiness, creaminess, and then you get that burst of saltiness from the roe. The crab meat gives that like texture when you're eating into it. Very good. And what's also great with kaiseki, I forgot to point out, is that it is very seasonal. So the courses you get is based on the season, seasonal ingredients and stuff like that. So for example, it's March season, so it's Sakura season. That's why some of the courses I'm getting have Sakura in them. But even like the seafood you're getting, the meat you're getting, and the produce, all are based on the season. So if you come here like every season, you will be trying different dishes because the menu will always be different. So next up over here is the clear soup. So what they have here is boiled fat greenling with bamboo shoots. I'm actually not too familiar with greenling, and they said it's a type of fish. Let's try. Let me try the soup first. Okay, the soup is very comforting. It's very light, but very, still pretty flavorful. I see the greenling. Okay, it's a very light white fish, but you do taste the fish. They also said there's a wild vegetable, and I believe it's this one. So now we are on the sashimi course, and it comes with 3 sashimi. This is sea bream, this is barracuda, and this is bluefin tuna. I'm excited. And it also comes with like radish here, shiso leaf. There's 3 pieces of the sea breams. I'm gonna start with that. Get some wasabi, and it's freshly grated wasabi, which is very important. It's so fresh. Let's try the barracuda. I like that they actually gave barracuda because it's not very common. Like I've had it before, but not a lot of restaurants serve it. And it's lightly grilled on the side. Very, very nice. Now it's time for tuna, one of my favorites. Wow, it just melts. It's so good. So now we're doing the sea bream with the shiso leaf. The shiso leaf adds another dimension. So good. So now I have a new drink here. I searched it up and did sake because it will go well for my next course, which is the grilled dishes. And this is fun. So when I got sake, they actually delivered like a tray of different sake cups and then asked me to choose. I chose this one because it's the only one with red in it, and for me red is lucky, so I want red. So I got myself the Senkin sake because it's supposed to pair well with everything, and it's a staff recommendation. So since I'm doing kaiseki, I wanted a sake that would go well with all the other courses I'll be having. This sake is from the Toshige Prefecture. Wow, okay. This is actually a very different sake that I've ever tasted. Like, there are actually citrus notes that is very refreshing with acidity. And there's also umami, so aside from the rice, you get all those other flavors on top. Wow, this is really good. And honestly, like, it's very easy to drink. Like, some people don't like the taste of just rice on sake, but this is very easy. You will love it, and I can see why it will go well with just about any dish, just because of how simple and easy it is to drink with the refreshing acidic notes. Wow, this plate looks amazing, and there's quite a bit of things here. So there's grilled cherry salmon right here, there's pepper, there's wheat gluten bread with miso, there's butter burr leaf with sakura shrimp, which is pretty interesting. I've never heard of sakura shrimp. And then there's marinated sea bream sushi here, and then there's firefly squid. I've only had it in like sushi form before, so it's like raw, but this is like cooked, so I'm very interested in trying that. Pond smelt right here. There's a vinegared seaweed right here. So I'm gonna start with the firefly squid. It's actually really good. The squid flavors are very pronounced. Sweetened boiled pond smelt. Wow. That's a nice sweet, hint of sweet, not very sweet. You get the saltiness from the smell. Nice contrast of sweet and salty. Let's try the sakura shrimp. I'm gonna try the shrimp first. Oh wow. Even though like they're tiny shrimp, it actually tastes really strong. Very good. And this here is the red sea bream sushi. Wow, that was not what I expected with sushi. The bottom part isn't rice. It basically like crumbled when I ate it, but wow, it is so delicious. Let's try this miso wheat gluten bread. It has a very nice chew. Kinda reminds me of mochi. Love this. It's like an umami bomb. The miso is so good. Pepper. Let's try the vinegared mozuku seaweed. So very different. It's not the seaweed I was thinking of. It's very stringy. Look at this. Okay, let's try. Wow. It's very viscous. And kind of reminds me of like, it has like the jellyfish texture, so it's really not the seaweed I was expecting. Very, very interesting. Then let's try the grilled cherry salmon. The skin is perfectly grilled crispy. I love it when they do that to salmon skin because salmon skin, a lot of people throw it away, but it is so good, especially when you make it crispy. And this one is cherry blossom cheese jelly. Very interesting. Let's try. Very creamy. It's not like the gelatin jelly type of texture, it's more like a mousse type of jelly. But what's good is like the cheese isn't too strong that it overpowers the sakura because sakura flavor is very subtle. So here you actually taste the sakura and the cheese both very subtle, but combined it's very interesting. So we are now in the simmered dish course, and this is shrimp wrapped in lily burb bun. So look at this. Let me lift it up. It's very interesting. Look at this bun. And then there's some sauce here as well. Let's try. Oh, and this is very interesting. Kind of tastes like taro. And then inside you get the shrimp. Wow, that's very interesting. So I asked this, I've never heard of lily burb bun before, so I asked what if it was taro, and it turns out it's a mix of sweet potato and potato starch and combined with lily bulbs, and they basically like mix it and mash it all up. Very interesting, and the sauce is green pea sauce basically, and then it comes with this thing here is wheat gluten, the side of like a sakura shape. Very interesting. I guess that's why I thought it was taro, because the sweet potato does add that sweetness taste, which taro also has. Very interesting, very unique. So now we are in the deep fried dish course, and here we have tempura. So here it's a shrimp wrapped in cherry blossom leaf tempura. And this one here is ostrich fern, which I think is fiddleheads. And then here, I forgot the name, but server said it's a wild vegetable in Japan that only grows during the spring. Talk about seasonality. And then there's matcha salt right here. Obviously, I'm gonna try the shrimp first. It's so juicy. Very crispy. Even though it's not like the tempura where you see the batter, it's actually pretty crispy. And I actually like that the batter is very, very thin so that it doesn't really like fill you up, or it doesn't take away from the actual like shrimp and the vegetables. Let's try with the matcha salt. Wow. That one's really good. It's very tender, like it basically like melted when I bit into it. Wow. The ostrich fern has more like has more like texture when you're eating it. I'm loving the contrast of the three different tempura. So now we are at the extra dish course, and it's an interesting mix of pen shell, a type of saltwater clam, and there's squid, and there's white asparagus, and herbs. Let's try. I'm gonna try each on its own first. I don't think I've had pen shell before, but it's very delicious. It has a soft chew, so it's not very, very chewy, but you get the nice bite, and the flavor is really good. Then let's try the Ika. If you eat the pen shell side by side with the Ika, you will see the difference of how tender the pen shell is compared to the Ika, because the Ika you actually need to like chew. And then white asparagus. I'm gonna combine both. It's an interesting combination when you combine, like one is easier to bite than the other. So this is the last dish on the savory portion of the kaiseki. This is kettle cooked bamboo shoot and stewed beef rice. And wow, like they actually brought a whole kettle. So there's a lot of rice left, even though they put some already here. So if I'm still hungry, which I think I am, I'll probably be finishing that kettle. And then it also comes with miso soup and Japanese pickles. Let's try. It is so fragrant and flavorful. Aside from the beef actually like getting spread around the rice, I like that there are still chunks of beef so that you feel like you have like toppings. And the bamboo shoot also acts as like toppings because you also get chunks of it. And it is so good. Like the rice is super moist, very fragrant, very flavorful on its own. Like you can eat the rice on its own and be happy. It's that good. So let us try the miso soup. Okay, so it is like richer and darker than traditional miso soup. And there's also, I think they are like fish cake wraps, like thin layers of fish cakes, like these ones over here. And there's also like, I think seaweed as well. Very nice. So, you know I'm not a fan of pickles in general, but I'll try the Japanese pickles. Still not for me, but it is more doable for me than regular pickles. Like it's not as sour as it is. So you know what? I'll actually just dump it in my rice and mix everything. So at least my rice will have veggies in it too. I think that's the perfect solution for me. So now I can have like rice, pickles, and veggies. So I was curious about the miso soup because I don't think I've had this anywhere outside Japan before. So I asked like, why is it like richer and darker? And she said it's actually they use red miso, and that's why it's darker, because normally like a regular miso would be like yellowish, and because it's red miso it gives that like reddish brown color, and the flavor is more pronounced, more rich and dark. So now it's time for dessert, and they have dessert of the day, and it's a plate of fruits. There is strawberry, melon, and orange. Oh wait, it's actually not an orange, it's citrus jelly. It's so unique, but it actually looks like the actual fruit from afar. So let's try the jelly. Wow. It actually tastes like you're eating the fruit in jelly form. Very special. Strawberry. Those are very sweet strawberries. Wow. The melon is so juicy and soft. When I put it in my mouth, it just exploded. Wow, so good. So I made a mistake. So turns out the fruits is just pre-dessert fruits. But it wasn't on the menu, so I thought that was the dessert of the day. This is the dessert of the day. It's cherry blossom sponge cake. Look at this. It also comes with a side of like matcha. Let's try. The sponge cake is so good. Like it's so bouncy, so spongy. The texture is perfect. The cherry blossom mousse is pretty nice, but the sakura is quite subtle, so the sponge cake can overpower the sakura if you ate it together because of how thick the sponge cake is. But I highly recommend trying the mousse on its own first so that you can actually taste the sakura. So let's try the matcha now. Okay, this is some very rich matcha. Like it's very earthy, very umami, and honestly, like I love very strong matcha, so this is perfect for me. But if you're someone who doesn't like the very grassy taste of matcha, this might not be for you. But this is really the kind of perfect matcha if you want strong matcha. And now for my nightcap, this is their most popular dessert cocktail. It's called sweet potato dessert cocktail. Sounds very interesting. So there's actually like roasted sweet potato shochu, black sesame, milk, and advocaat, which I've never heard of before, but it's a Dutch alcoholic drink. Wow, okay. That is very interesting. It's cold because I think they kind of blended the sweet potato with ice. So it has a creamy, icy texture with the sweet potato, and you get that sweetness from the sweet potato. But then you also get the alcohol hitting from the shochu and the advocaat. I'm surprised that even though there's like sweet potato, there's syrup, and there's the Dutch alcoholic beverage that I think also has syrup, it's actually not that sweet. Like I've had sweeter dessert cocktails. This is probably on the lower end of the sweetness. It's really good, especially if you like sweet potato. I highly recommend that. And also, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've had a sweet potato based cocktail. So it's definitely a unique cocktail. If you're a cocktail lover looking for something new to try, highly recommend this. But wait, there's more. So I was still kind of hungry, and luckily there's something on the a la carte menu that really caught my eye. Grilled Omi beef. So I've never had Omi beef before, but Omi is one of the top 3 Wagyu brands in Japan. And Omi is actually from the Shiga prefecture where Lake Biwa is. Lake Biwa is the largest lake in Japan. And because of the lake, the natural environment is perfect for raising cattle, which is why Omi beef is one of the top. So basically the grass that the cows eat all grow from water from the lake, and the water that the cow drinks is also water from the lake. And that's why it's just conducive for Wagyu. And I'm so excited because I've never had Omi beef before. You only have 2 options on the menu. One is sirloin and one is tenderloin. So of course I did the tenderloin, and let's dig in. Oh, and another cool thing is it comes in this lava stone, hot lava stone, to grill the Wagyu. And this lava stone is from Mount Fuji. So another thing is it comes with soy sauce, lemon, and there's wasabi here as well. And when I asked how best to do it, she actually said to like drizzle the lemon, and you can mix the wasabi onto the soy sauce and then dip. But I definitely want to try on its own first. And I always appreciate when the grilled meat comes with stone because it means that the food will still be hot, and also you can cook it to your doneness. Like if you want it like more well done, you can keep cooking it on the stone. So, but me, I prefer like medium rare to medium, so this is perfect. It's so juicy and so tender. It has like less marbling because it's tenderloin and not ribeye, but wow. It's even hard to tell that there's no marbling because it just melts when you eat it. It's so good. The lemon actually helps bring out the beef flavors. Try some. Try soy sauce with wasabi. I'm less of a fan. The wasabi adds saltiness, but I feel like you don't need it with the wagyu because you want to taste the beef flavors. And I feel like if you add soy sauce, the saltiness actually like can take over the beef. So I'll stick to just this, and I already squeezed the lemon. So good. So if you're looking to try Omi beef, this is a great spot because I personally don't see a lot of like restaurants that serve Omi beef. Normally when I see Wagyu, it's like Kobe beef or Matsusaka or Miyazaki. So this is a pretty good find if you want to try a different kind of Wagyu or specifically Omi beef. This has been such an amazing dinner, and I hope this gives you an idea on what it's like to dine at Hanasan Show and to enjoy a traditional Kyoto-style kaiseki right here in Tokyo. And now it's time for me to head to the airport. And what's great is this hotel is connected directly to the subway that will take me to the Asakusa line heading straight to Narita. I hope this gives you an idea on what it's like to stay and dine in Park Hotel Tokyo, a Michelin Guide hotel that's also an art hotel. And a huge thanks to Park Hotel Tokyo for hosting me so I can share this experience with you.